Hey guys, Lex Gray here. This will be a quick video. Another house rule idea I have. This one's very simple, and I guarantee it's probably fairly common in in games where people play Fate or use the Fate engine. So for now, I'm currently using the Fate condensed version for Wolf, which has now been transitioned to a analog approach. So AI is no longer being used. Something I noticed a few times in the episode. It was only 30 plus minutes though was trying to find that target number at times. And if you have seen my channel for some time now, been watching, following along, I also am a huge fan of the Savage Worlds games. I have all the books, all the versions, and Savage Worlds uses a target number of 4, and you simply just adjust the roll, a penalty or a modifier essentially. Still trying to hit that 4. So if you have a skill that you're not trained in, it's usually a D4 -2. So that -2 impacts your roll, not the target number. Target number always stays as it is, and the modifiers only affect your roll. So it's different it can be different in RPGs throughout the spectrum. Sometimes modifiers affect the actual target number. Sometimes modifier affects your roll. I think it's more common in the roll, if I'm not mistaken. But so in Fate, you have that hierarchy of -2 up to +8, I think, and it just depends on fair, great, it's excellent, supreme, whatever they call it. Here's what I'm thinking: because Fate is so dependent on narrative flair, just storytelling in general, compared to a conventional, rules-like game such as Savage Worlds, which can also be heavily reliant on narrative and the mechanics. Obviously, great blend. That's why I like the game. I figured, based on some, just simple calculations and probabilities, that +2 is the Savage Worlds target number of Fate. It sits there right in the middle. You have the 4 dice, you have the bell curve, but you have those 3 possibilities. -4 is the lowest you can get with 4 negatives, and then +4 is the highest you can get with the 4 positives. Obviously, you have the modifiers your character typically has, which can average around +2. And so I thought, why not just have the target number always be +2? It never changes. What does change, as inspired by Savage Worlds, my house rule, is the rule. So, but a penalty or a modifier, a bonus, is driven with narrative flair, not just, all right, -2 because you're being surrounded. You have to go deeper than that. You have to explain why you're being surrounded, how you got surrounded, who is surrounding you, and what your end goal is, what your end game is. So I figured the +2 is always the benchmark, but if you have an advantage, for example, you have 2 weapons on you, you have a vantage point where you're standing, your target is clearly in sight, you should easily have a +2 on your roll, not just the target number of +2, which is, I should say, actually correct myself, 2 is the target number. If we go to a conventional method in RPG, simply just saying the number itself, 2 without the plus, then you're given a +2 on your roll on top of other modifiers like your character skills and any aspect you invoke or the situational aspects, which in my other house rule I talked about before, ATM aspect of moment, which you only get 3 aspects at that very moment. You can never reuse them again. They can change if you call it out. Obviously, it can be abused. You can say ATM every other moment, but it's up to discretion of the game master when to allow it. And players should obviously hold it back if they're using too often. But in my channel, in this realm, I use solo play, so I try to use ATM 2 or 3 times a video, if so. But it also depends on the pacing in the video. So 2 is the target number for Fate. I don't have a name for it yet. Fate 2 or Fate Deuce. I really don't know. It's 2 Fate. 2 Fate. I'll call it that. That is Fate 2, but 2 Fate. It, I think that makes better. I think I like that. That makes more sense. So 2 Fate is the official house rule name I'm giving it, on top of my other one, ATM. So 2 Fate is a target number 2. You're always shooting for that. You have modifiers, which either work as a penalty or a bonus based on the situation at hand at that very moment. So that's it. Simple house rule. I guarantee people have thought of this before. It's just I was thinking of Savage Worlds, and I was thinking of my current addiction, which is Fate. I'm like, that'd be a great blend to put those together. So two Fate. That's really it. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, I try to, I don't see it too much engagement, which is expected. I don't have a big channel, but I know these videos get more views than my other just typical solo plays. I see more views on these types of just talking head videos if it's about a popular game. Then I'm hoping for more comments about the topic. So if you have your own house rules, if you can think of one on the spot, if you want to recommend me one, I'll try my next video. If you have used one before that you are super confident about, please recommend it below, talk about it, and I'll try to reply as soon as I can. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.